Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to kick your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Dare to make war, we surrender.
Falsehood, important things are giving you people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, August 19th, 2022. Today would be the 101st birthday of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry. And I believe it's the 70th or thereabouts birthday of Jonathan Frakes, aka Commander William Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation, or the less fortunate Captain Riker from Star Trek Picard. Regardless, welcome to the channel. Spent most of the day on Anti-Derivative Jill's channel. She's been celebrating Gene Roddenberry's birthday. Quite the long stream this morning. I hope you guys caught all or part of it. It was good stuff. Not Ryan Johnson, first in the chat today, says hello in Qapla. Hail Karoga. Hail to you, not Ryan Johnson. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Birdo Prey 5 in chat. Greetings to you, Mike Richards. 47 Yorktown says hello, young sir. Greetings, 47 Yorktown. Yvette says good evening, Bird and everyone. Qapla, Yvette. Yvette taking care, online, taking care of a very ill LDG. We hope LDG feels better. He apparently has the flu. So best wishes and prayers to LDG. Hope he has a speedy recovery. Hakeem says Qapla, all Qapla. Hakeem. Captain Fandom Nerd says greetings, Captain. Random Menace, greetings from the future, greetings, Random Man. Hakeem says hey to Captain. Antirative Jill says hail to 47 Yorktown, Yvette, Hakeem, Captain, and the Random Menace. Captain says hello back to everyone. Hakeem says hey, Yvette says hey. Mike Richards says greetings. Immortal Technique says, hey guys, been a while. Indeed, it has, Immortal Technique. I hope you're doing well. And Words and Pictures says Qapla Bird. Qapla, Gene Roddenberry. Good to be here. Good to hear you. Thank you, Words and Pictures. Glad you are here. I had a quiet chat today. Not a not a ton of pre-show chat, so it was fairly quick to catch up on. Richie Poole, Qapla, Richie Poole, hope you are well. Yeah, Gene Roddenberry, 101, would be 101 today. Granted, he died, I believe it was 31 years ago, thereabouts. He didn't die on his birthday, obviously, but he hasn't been with us for 30 plus years.
Divert auxiliary power to deflectors.
We are still remembering him in an Andrew Jill with a $10 super chat. Oh, Andrew Jill, you didn't have to. Says happy 101st birthday to Gene. Driving while listening. Thank you very much for joining me today and for the shout out just now. You are one of my favorite YouTubers, so it made me so happy you joined us. Oh, Jill, you are one of my favorite YouTubers as well. You have, and I wanted to say it earlier on your stream, but I didn't want it to come out wrong. But you have such a lovely voice, Andrew Jill. You could pretty much talk about anything. I would tune in. And yes, you do great streams as well, but the voice is all part of it. The voice is all part of the package, and you got it. Substance D, says Qapla. Qapla, Substance D. Good to see you here. But anyway, for Gene Roddenberry, 30 plus years the man's been gone, and we're still talking about him. We are still celebrating him. Now, there are people who will, and we know who these people are, who will say, oh, Gene Roddenberry wasn't that important, that somehow the network had more to do with making Star Trek a success than Gene Roddenberry did. Like, right. It would be the first time in history the network did more to help a show. If the network was so good at figuring out why, how to make good shows, then why isn't every show as good as Star Trek, right? But regardless, there are people who will bust down Gene because he wasn't perfect. And you know what? You don't have to be perfect. He was very, very good. Yes, he had his imperfections. He had his, his eye on the ladies. But he still made great sci-fi. He still brought that science fiction to the masses. He still planted the seeds that became Star Trek as we know it, as we love it. And he deserves all the respect for that. Just because he wasn't perfect doesn't mean he wasn't very, very good at what he did. And regardless of what you may think of the man compared to what somebody today would be doing, the point is, I'm pretty confident that 100 years from now, people will still be talking about Gene Roddenberry. Nobody's going to be talking about people like Alex Kurtzman in 50 years, let alone 100. Nobody's going to be talking about J.J. Abrams. Nobody's going to be talking about Kathleen Kennedy in 100 years. But Gene Roddenberry, oh yeah, they're going to still be talking. May not be as big as he is now, right? It may not be a name that everybody knows. I mean, pretty much, I would like to say a good part of the population would associate Gene Roddenberry with Star Trek. And maybe, in 25 years, it'll be only 25% of the population. And in 50 years, only half of that. And in another 50, half of that. But that's still 5 to 10% of the population that's going to know who he is, that's going to be celebrating Gene Roddenberry, that's going to have their own, cliques or whatever that form around this man. And you know what? He deserves it. He deserves it. I've often talked about the second death, and I forget the culture that it came from, but the first death is, of course, when you die, and the second death is when everybody who remembers you dies. And that the second death is a scarier death than the first when you think about it. You know, there'll be a time, some point in the future, for everyone, when everyone who's ever heard of you, who's ever known you, they die. And nobody knows you again after that. You could have been written up in a book. You could have your own page on Wikipedia. So maybe even after the last person who knew you personally dies, there's a chance somebody will read about you, you know, by accident. They clicked on the wrong link in Wikipedia and it brought them to, you know, your page by accident, and somebody reads it and like, okay, but it's a novelty. It's not like whatever. You're not having a course. Nobody's going to teach a course about you in college or something. And even if you become famous, you know, even George Washington, first president of these United States, has thousands of books about the man. I'm sure thousands of web pages about the man. There will be a time one day when nobody remembers who he was, right? It's going to happen. Whether it's because the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, or a comet hits the Earth, or whatever, one day, in all likelihood, there will be no one left on Earth who remembers George Washington, even if human culture survives. Do we really think 5,000 years from now, people are going to remember who he was? I would like to think so, but the reality is, it's probably not going to happen. At that point, nobody's going to know who Gene Roddenberry was either. I'm not saying Gene is going to outlive the memory of George Washington. I'm just saying that as a practical matter, everybody will die a second death. There will be a day when nobody remembers who George Washington was. There'll be a day when nobody remembers who Gene Roddenberry was. And there'll be a day when nobody remembers who Alex Kurtzman was. But Alex Kurtzman's day is much sooner than Gene Roddenberry's. Not that I'm counting, not that it really matters, but it's true. And I don't want to say it brings me pleasure, because it doesn't bring me pleasure to know that, but it does bring me some contentment to know, to realize that memories of Gene will long outlive memories of New Trek players, even though they are alive and well today. And Gene already has a 30-plus year head start on irrelevance. He will nevertheless outlive it. He will win the race, even though he has a 30-plus year handicap against winning. That's basically what I feel. The Random Menace says he's dead, Jim. I mean, Bert. Yes, I know he's dead. Yvette says Jill has a package. I don't think she does, Yvette. I don't think she does. And well, maybe she does. Yvette says Gene had a dream and did something about it. Maybe more of us should take a leaf out of his book. Definitely. Richie Pools has made the great bird of the galaxy poop on Salty Trekker's head. You know, if he did poop on Salty Trekker's head, at least I'd understand why Salty doesn't like him. Yvette says, who are all these others you speak of? Cinnabon Bunny says, hello, Cinnabon. Hope you're doing well. Sorry we missed you on your birthday here. If you'd like a happy birthday, just type it in and I'll be happy to sing. Yvette says, hey, Cinnabon, happy belated birthday. Anti-Root of Jill says, Mexican culture has the second death when everyone has forgotten you. Okay, that's probably where I got it from. Thank you. It's very, very sad to think of. Very, I don't like it. I don't like thinking of it. The Random Menace says, but without Alex Kurtzman, we would not have Michael Burnham, and without Kathleen Kennedy, we would not have Ray. Yes, Random Menace, that's kind of the point. Android of Jill says the digital footprint really has changed things in that regard. Oh, it extends it out tremendous, but there'll be a day. There'll be a day when even, your digital footprint is just going to be ignored. Nobody's, eventually Facebook is going to have to delete old pages, or they'll just be archived someplace that nobody ever reads them. That doesn't, just because you have a Facebook page, you would say, well, in theory, I'll live forever in Facebook. And you might be accessible forever, but there'll be a day when nobody, even spammers, don't go to your page anymore. The Random Menace says, Yvette, you naughty girl. Cinnabon says, thank you. Yvette's laughing. Words and Pictures is very profound and insightful. Android of Jill says, no, and laughs. Keely Chow says, hey, everybody. What's going on? We're talking Gene Roddenberry, Keely. Hope you're well. The Random Menace says, we guys have a package, but the ladies can have as many packages as they like. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the women want a package. It's a lot easier to get one. Dan Ben says, hello. Hello, Dan Ben. Hope you're doing well. So, earlier on Anti-Root of Jill, somebody brought up a what-if scenario. Basically, if Spock had come across a perfectly natural substance that is, legal in some places, legal for medical use in other places, and still illegal in yet other places. You know what I'm talking about. And I started thinking, and I started putting together an episode, perhaps around this premise, and I figured it would go a little something like this. Captain Kirk finds Spock has been smoking a substance, and he's got to go explain to Spock that, he can't keep doing this. So Captain Kirk walks into the mess hall. He comes across Spock sitting at the table playing his Vulcan instrument and smoking a stinky substance that he had not smelled before. He called Bones to come to the mess hall. Hey, Jim, I'm here, says Bones. Bones, what is that smell emanating from that thing in Spock's hands? Well, Jim, that's what they call a doobie. It's an old Kentucky recipe, and you put this green substance between these papers, you roll it up, you light it on fire, and you breathe it in, breathe it out, makes you feel really good. My God, man, says Kirk, I can't have my first officer smoking doobies on the bridge. McCoy's like, well, he's in the mess hall, Jim, so problem solved. Damn it, Bones, you know what I'm saying. We've got to get Spock off this substance. You know, I think they also used to call it the chronic, says McCoy. Dr. McCoy, how do we get Spock off the chronic? Well, Jim, there used to be a gum we could synthesize, and he could chew it, and he would get the sensation of being on the chronic, but without the smoke. Not good enough. You have to do better than that, says Kirk. That's what I was afraid you were going to say, Jim. I think I can make a shot. I can give him every 15 minutes. That will make it make him sick to his stomach, just smelling that thing. Damn it, Bones. I can't have him taking a shot every 15 minutes. He's got to be first officer of the flagship of the Federation. Well, Jim, I just don't know what to do. We never had this problem where I came from. We used to just give them a little alcohol and a burger and they'd be fine. Damn it, Doctor. You know, Vulcans are vegetarians. They don't eat hamburgers. So, yeah, Jim, I suppose they are. It's probably why he's in this mess to begin with. It's all natural, and you grow it. So, probably why he's smoking it. Never mind, Doctor. I'm going to handle this on my own. So Kirk steps up in front of Spock. He says, listen here, you green-blooded Vulcan. Spock looks. He takes a deep breath. He blows it right in Captain Kirk's face. He says, I am a Vulcan, and yes, my blood is green. I am very happy that it's green, because green is the color of the chronic. It's quite logical it's green. It's fact. I've never felt more in touch with logic in my whole life than I do right now. Takes another deep breath from the doobie. Blows it in Kirk's face again. Kirk is like, now you listen to me, mister. There's not room enough on the ship for you, me, and the chronic. One of us is going to have to get off. And we're not pulling over at a starbase, if you know what I mean. The hell I don't, says Spock. He's like, well, do you remember what we did to those tribbles at K7? If I recall, Scotty beamed them into the engines of a Klingon ship. You're damn right. That's what he did, says Captain Kirk. And I'm going to do it to either you or the space weed. You pick. Spock, taking another breath. Captain Kirk puts his hand over Spock's face so he couldn't blow it out. And he just sucked it in and swallowed. Something Vulcans can do, apparently. So Spock is like, well, I'm much stronger than you, Captain. I must warn you. Stay away. Don't you attempt to take my chronic. Kirk is like, you left me no choice, mister. It's me versus you. There's only going to be one winner and I'm the captain of the Enterprise. So they start fighting like they did, except without lurpers, just their hands. And the music goes dan 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 dan, dan and boom, back and forth fights. The shirt comes off. Captain Kirk is bare chested, and he's doing his air drop kicks into Spock, but Spock is 3 times the strength of Captain Kirk, and he's just pushing the man down. Captain Kirk's getting all bloody, beaten up, but he's not stopping. And then Bones is like, Jim, you're going to get yourself killed. He's like, what am I going to do? Bones, I have to. I'm the captain of this ship. I can't just have him disrespect me. And Bones is like, he's on the chronic, Jim. You've got the superior mind. Outthink him. Just as he hears that, he gets a punch to the face from Spock, and Captain Kirk falls down. He stands up, and his eyes are blurry. His face is bleeding. He can taste his own blood going down his throat. And just before Spock comes to deal the death blow, Captain Kirk says, Spock, I surrender. And Spock stops. And he says, surrendering is not logical. He's like, I know it's not, but I will surrender once you answer me this question. So, okay. What's your question, Captain? Spock, submitted for your approval. I suspect that a Vulcan heavily on mind-altering substances cannot possibly answer the following question. Spock is like, I can answer any question. My mind is not being altered. Fine, Spock. Then answer me this. What would happen if you gave yourself the Vulcan nerve pinch? Spock thinks. He thinks some more. He says, you know, Captain, I don't believe it's ever been asked. I wonder if anybody's ever tried to give themselves the Vulcan nerve pinch. Therefore, the only way to answer the question is by attempting it. And Spock, before anyone could react, picks up his hand, puts it on his own shoulder, and squeezes, instantly falling to the ground, knocking himself out. The first Vulcan to give themselves the Vulcan nerve pinch. And with that, Captain Kirk declares victory. He has Spock brought under restraints to the medical bay, and he allows Bones to experiment on Spock until he could find a treatment for his chronic condition, if you will. It took about 2 hours, but Bones was able to synthesize a retrovirus, which made Spock unaddicted to the chronic, and Spock finally thanks Dr. McCoy and realizes that he had in fact lost 2.37% of overall brain function through this one evening of being addicted to marijuana. The lesson, of course, Captain Kirk himself delivers. And that, kids, is why you don't smoke pot, not even once. It will ruin your brain. Next week on Star Trek, Spock's brain is gone. Thank you. Oh, there we go. There we go. Words and Pictures says, I'd say more people alive today know who Roddenberry is than know who Kurtzman is. Oh, I'd agree. Yvette says, who is this Kurtzman? Dan Van says, I got your reply on Twitter about Star Trek Day. The list of events happening, I was hoping for something better. Me too. Me too. For those who don't know the list of Star Trek Day, September 8th is Star Trek Day. There's a list of what's going on Paramount Plus. We've got Tawny Newsome, whatever, the actress who plays Mariner on Lower Decks, and some other Lower Decks actor is going to be on. They're going to be interviewing cast members. But other than Kate Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan, who are on there because of their roles on Prodigy and Star Trek Picard, no original TOS or TNG, DS9, other Voyager or Enterprise actors are on the list. And thank you, Words and Pictures, with a £5 sterling super sticker going bravo, bravo. Thank you. I am glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We appreciate that. So yeah, but for Star Trek Day, there's literally no actors that I would give any craps about. It's all new Trek, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, Picard, and not the good Picard actors, not TNG actors, Picard actors, and only Picard actors. So it looks like a very disappointing Star Trek Day for September 8th. But I will keep an eye on things, and who knows? We'll probably get a trailer or two. Maybe, I don't know if we'll get a Discovery Season 5 trailer. It's certainly possible we'll get something for Discovery Season 5. Picard Season 3. Both are possible. Although next week already starts Lower Decks. So Lower Decks episodes 1 and 2 should be out by the time Star Trek Day comes along. The Random Menace says Alias. Random Menace says, I think Alias was a great show, and it was J.J. Kurtzman and Orsi. Okay. Yvette says, I haven't watched any new Trek after second episode of Picard and third of STD.
Our best estimates place us some
John
4 hours
Araki,
from
thank you so much. John Araki with a $1 super chat. Greatly appreciated. Words and Pictures said, I really enjoy your improvised, unscripted audio theater. Great stagecraft performance. Thank you, Words and Pictures. Mike Richards says, Bird be trippin'. Hakeem says, this is better than Strange New Turks. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, greetings everyone from Graythor, welcome Gorilla. Yvette says, hey to Jordan. And woohoo Bird. And number 1 says breaking news. Birdo Prey 5 Me Too'd by Gene Roddenberry. Gene is dead, number one. I don't think he can Me Too anyone. Dan Ben says, yes, I can watch Lower Decks next Friday. Daniel's Hot Topics says, hello, Bird. How are you today? I'm doing well enough, Daniel. Oh, guys, good news for the Korogan coughers. Really nice sized Koroganite last night, about 6 millimeters, round, spherical, solid piece of Koroganite. Man, I understood why I was feeling like crap the few days before. Oof, that one took a while, but it's out now. Dan Ben says, no, never had access to the streaming platforms with Discovery season 3 or 4, so I never saw them. Well, you know what? You're lucky, Dan. You are lucky. Captain Fandom Nerd says, hey to Gorillas, random thoughts. And Dan Ben says, I don't have Paramount Plus. Strange New Worlds. Even if you have Paramount Plus, you need several streaming apps for the other Star Treks. This is true. Yvette with a £2 sterling super chat says, said love to LDG. He's feeling poorly. Thanks. Oh, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I did tell everybody to please wish LDG to get well soon. That he is apparently, as he says, come down with the flu pretty quickly. This morning he was seemingly feeling okay, but in the last few hours he's gotten he went from feeling fine to feeling really, really bad. So yes, guys, please keep him in your thoughts, and any well wishes you send, he will appreciate. Number 1 says Vertebrae. Spoiler alert. Season 3 of Star Trek Picard will include a return of the franchise's most beloved characters, the holographic comic played by Joe Piscopo on Season 2 of TNG, Episode 4. Oh my God, is that Data learning to have a sense of humor? Andrew DeGill says, your Spock's chronic improv was genius. Well done. Thank you, Andrew DeGill. Get well soon to LDG. Absolutely. How about that Andromeda, says JP's. And Mike Richards says, Yvette, I've had the summertime flu. It sucks. Absolutely. And yes, LDG is in, of course, Central Florida. So that's like the heart of summertime. Summertime to the summertime power, exponential summertime. Well, let's go ahead and check out Wordle. Oh, what's today? Today is August 19th. It's International Bow Day. Bow being the bow and arrow. National Aviation Day. Well, that's sad because I heard that there was a plane crash in California today. Not a giant commercial plane, but 2 planes, I guess smaller planes, crashed into each other on landing. It's National Potato Day. That's good for potato revin, perhaps. And National Soft Ice Cream Day. Now, to be fair, any ice cream would be soft on a day like today, the longer it stays out. but I don't know. That's not what they mean. They mean soft, soft. Okay, in the news, pro-Ukrainian saboteurs are behind the blast at Russian military sites. The Ukrainian official says apparently there's a giant, the biggest nuclear nuclear power plant in Europe is apparently being fought over now between Russians and Ukrainians. And it seems like they're just itching to have a meltdown at that plant. It would, of course, spread the ramifications, unfortunately, would hit all of Europe, not just the Ukraine. So that's unfortunate. And we all hope for our friends in places like Slovakia that they figure out something and don't let that go forever, because it's going to be a problem. This is it. 3 people killed when 2 planes collide in midair over California airport. So not a good day for National Aviation Day. Let's see. For me, astronaut satellites capture view of Aurora Borealis from space. Yeah, I saw this picture the other day, and the aurora is actually supposed to be visible possibly as far south as Missouri, later this week. Unfortunately, with the light pollution coming from New York City, even if the aurora was directly over New York City, it's unlikely we'd be able to see it. Kronos is in the house. Says Qapla. Says Birdo Prey 5 in chat. Qapla. What did I miss? I was talking about Gene Roddenberry a bit. I did a little skit on Spock being high on weed and Captain Kirk having to talk him down. Number 1, says Birdo Prey, NASA's longest lived mission, Voyager probe, logs 45 years in space. Wow, 45 years, and it's still going. Yvette says, I saw in the news about the reactor. Report says it's Russians, and other reports say it's Ukraine. Well, yeah, nobody's never going to know the real story, unfortunately. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Qapla Bird of Prey. I hope your weekend is blessed with chicken wings and a visit from Nephew O'Prey. Nephew O'Prey is sick. He's not going to be coming this weekend. He has a raging ear infection that we heard yesterday. He's on antibiotics. Hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. He was also exposed possibly to COVID. So you gotta wait. Him and Sis O'Prey have to wait it out a bit before we see him. Daniel's Hot Topics is Bird of Prey. I sent you a cool, funny music video, Bert. Thank you, Daniel. Some videos, if they're not up my alley, I don't particularly watch. Like, I'll be honest, I probably don't think any music video is particularly fun, because I'm not a music video guy. I'll take a look, but I don't have all that much time to look at videos that just don't grab me. Random Menace is after Chernobyl, we are hardened and glowing. Well, I hope it gives you some natural immunity, Random Menace. Chrono says no slugs here to Yvette. He says, unlike other slugs, he likes salt, says Kronos. Mike Ridger says Kronos the moths ate them. Kronos says moths are the future. Yvette says the upside to the previous meltdown, that bugs are getting bigger. I love bugs. Wow, Yvette. Kronos says don't eat the bugs, however. Kronos says the elites want you to enjoy a nice maggot burger. Oh, nasty. Yvette says, "Aw, poor Charlie. Tell him I'm sending magic thoughts to help him." I will. Kronos says, "Charlie isn't feeling well." No, not the best, Kronos. Not the best. The science behind why the words are so colorful this week is equally interesting. Beginning August 14th, a series of eruptions started traveling at around the rate of 1 million miles per hour towards Earth, prompting NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, Colorado to issue a level 3 geomagnetic storm warning. Wow. Still, there were 2 eruptions. The second, more significant episode, overtook the first in space. The event is known as cannibal coronal mass ejection. Below is a glamour shot of the August 15th and 16th eruptions using the ultraviolet imager. Most people don't need to worry about the effects of geomagnetic storms. And even if we did, I don't think we have to worry about these. Podcast. All access Star Trek nerds out more with Terry Matalas on Picard Season 3 and his next track. Star Trek cut a fan favorite Voyager character from Picard. What? Star Trek cut a fan favorite Voyager character from Picard. With Star Trek Picard's third and final season on its way, there are lots of fans hoping their favorite characters show up. No, there really aren't. We already know most of the entire lead cast of The Next Generation will star in the series, but as soon as Picard's final season was announced, fans started lobbying for the return of TNG recurring characters, as well as... What? How did I get to this? DS9 revival finally on its way? I hope not. We'll go back to that. Final season announced fans turn of TNG recurring characters, as well as fan favorites from 2 series set in the same era, Deep Space Nine and Voyager. While we can't say yet who will or won't show up from those 2 spin-offs, besides Michael Dorn's Worf, who was obviously a DS9 regular for its last 4 seasons, we can tell you someone who is going to be up in the show Star Trek Picard from Voyager, but who sadly got cut. In a recent interview, showrunner Terry Matalas said he fought hard to include the first child born aboard Voyager, Naomi Wildman, but they just couldn't make it work. For their all-access Star Trek podcast, Star Trek Movie recently interviewed Picard showrunner Terry Matalas, who explained how Voyager's Naomi Wildman came up in discussions for the final season and why she was cut. There was a moment where there was a specific thing that's happening. What if they had to turn to a grown-up Naomi Wildman? And it was very, very intense. 3 weeks in the room because it was a great story, Matalas explained. And then you had 13 episodes, and you were going to do this one, and it was going to be great. And you could produce it because it was rather expensive and not so hard. If you're unfamiliar, Naomi Wildman of Star Trek Voyager has an interesting origin. Naomi is half human, half Catrayan, child conceived just before the titular ship is lost in the Delta Quadrant. Her birth is an event of great importance on the ship, with a trip back to Earth, as they expect, may take over 70 years. The crew sees Naomi as likely the first of many children to be born on Voyager. She develops an endearing relationship with 7 of 9. In alternate timelines, adult versions of Naomi become Starfleet officers. It's too bad Star Trek writers couldn't fit this nod to Voyager in the final season of Picard, but perhaps they'll get another chance. There have been rumors of Kate Mulgrew and her Voyager cast mates getting their own revival series, so who knows? Assuming it happens, Metalis' Wildman story might be even better fit there. They even may be able to go back to Palmer's back to play the role in 2019. She told StarTrek.com she had more or less left acting behind, but we suspect she might be willing for at least one more go. Of course, this leaves us wondering what other Star Trek characters might make their way into Picard from Voyager, TNG, or any other series. What about the holodeck-obsessed Reginald Barclay? Dwight Schultz. Dwight Schultz. Is that his real name? Dwight Schultz is The Office. That's Dwight's name on The Office, isn't it? What about the addictions? What about new additions? Have the 25th century introduced him to? Oh, new addictions has the 25th century introduced him to. How about the rebellious Ro Lauren or Will Riker's duplicate Thomas? He's in prison. He's probably dead. Thomas Riker was arrested by Cardassians. He went to trial in Cardassia. He's probably dead. Did either of them survive the Dominion War? How about Will Wheaton's Wesley Crusher? Denise Crosby's Tasha Yar has been dead for decades, but what about her villainous half-Romulan daughter? Did she survive the Romulan supernova? The questions are all but impossible to answer now. That doesn't mean we'll stop asking. Well, you should stop asking, for Christ's sake. When was this? 3 weeks ago. Deep Space Nine revival finally on the way. Star Trek is having a moment in the sun, a new moment in the sun, with more series currently airing than ever before. Yes, but not quality series. Paramount Studios is going all with the franchise, all in, rapidly expanding a slate of new shows, prequels, sequels, whatever you want to consider Lower Decks. However, all these appearances by Star Trek characters of all our yesterdays have made devoted fans wonder, what about Star Trek Deep Space Nine? The 1990 series starring Avery Brooks as Captain Benjamin Sisko has long been regarded as one of Star Trek's best and most nuanced roles. And according to some remarks at San Diego Comic-Con, it might be due for some kind of revival. Her Trek movie, the Star Trek Universe panel at recent San Diego Comic-Con, featured a trailer upcoming next season of Star Trek Lower Decks, and there was a brief glimpse of USS Cerritos visiting the eponymous, I guess that's like opposite of anonymous, eponymous station Deep Space Nine. According to Lower Decks showrunner Mike McMahon, some friendly faces might show up, so we can all assume the entire episode revolve around the never-ending and hilarious tales of Quark's Bar's regular Morn. Given generally comedic tone of Lower Decks, its focus on low-ranking members of Star Trek vessel, a trip to DS9 might only feature some of the primary characters in passing, but even that would be welcome. Star Trek executive producer Alex Kurtzman also answered fan questions about whether there had been any consideration to revisiting Deep Space Nine, albeit cryptically. He said basically that there were always conversations about the past history of Star Trek, which inherently involved Captain Sisko as one of the more important characters in the franchise. Kurtzman also went on to say that any revisiting of DS9 would require a new direction. Yeah, a good direction. Presumably in the same way as Star Trek Picard is not a simple repeat of The Next Generation, somewhat to the ire of fans. However, it's already been confirmed the final season of Picard will involve at least one character from Deep Space Nine, Worf, as played by Michael Dorn. And again, we're getting this old Worf that shouldn't have white hair. So fucking stupid. Doesn't even look like Worf. Worf originated as a character on Next Generation, joined the cast of DS9, which featured appearance by Patrick Stewart in the pilot episode in the 4th season. It's entirely possible we will see other Deep Space Nine characters show up in the final season of Picard. Yeah, maybe Miles O'Brien, considering they have Voyagers 7 of 9 and pretty much all Next Gen guest starring. Sorry, Wesley. Nobody's sorry that Wesley is not. Even if there are no immediate plans for Star Trek to revive Deep Space Nine as a proper series, there can be little doubt that it will slowly begin to be incorporated into the growing future of the franchise. A comic series, which is just worthless, set a few years after the finale of DS9, is currently in the works, which will be an acceptable stopgap for now. Well, then you're an idiot, because never in the history of Star Trek has a comic maintained. It might have been called canon, but it's never maintained its canicity. Canicity? That's a word now. Canicity. It's never maintained it. Reddit bans are pirated games for excessive copyright claims. God damn it. Rock Solid, are you always trying to get our pirated games thrown off? Excessive copyright claims. It's called pirated games. It's right in the name. God damn it. Finland's prime minister takes drug test after videos show her partying. Wow. Northern Lights might dance across New York, New Jersey skies Thursday night. Well, too late now. You can share Upper West Side building with, I don't know who those are. Super PACs. Is anything? Meme stocks are back. What the fuck is a meme stack? Ethereum's merge put every Ether miner out of work. Wayfair is cutting 5% of its global workforce. Apple says hackers may have exploited security flaws on iPhone, iPad, and Macs. Yes, that's just called another day that ends in Y. Debit card fraud leaves Ally Bank customers, small stores reeling. Google will modify search algorithms to tackle clickbait. God, I hope so. I am tired of the fucking clickbait. Speaking of which, I should change this title to something clickbait. Google will modify search algorithms to tackle clickbait. Content written appearing high on web search results will be targeted with new changes. Google is tweaking the search results in an effort to prioritize content by people for people and fight against the scourge of clickbait, the company says. We know people don't find content helpful if it seems like it was designed to attract clicks rather than inform readers. Danny Sullivan from Google said in a blog post, many of us have experienced the frustration of visiting a web page that seems like it's what we're looking for, but doesn't live up to our expectations. The content might not have the insights you want, or it may not even seem like it was created for or even by a person. So-called SEO spam content, written explicitly for purposes of appearing high up in search results of search engines, has long been a thorn in the sides of companies like Google. To tackle it, the company is launching a helpful content update next week. The update covers a number of tweaks to company search ranking algorithms that attempt to identify content that seems to have been primarily created for ranking well in search engines rather than help inform people. Google says that in tests, the updates result in particular improvements for searches related to online education, arts, entertainment, shopping, and technology. In one example, Sullivan says a search about a recent movie can sometimes bring up articles that simply aggregate reviews from other sites. Now you'll see more results will be unique, authentic information, so you're more likely to read something you haven't seen before. There are winners and losers out there from such changes, of course, and online publishers may fear their content strategies will see them caught up in the net. You know, the problem is it used to work like that. Then they changed it, and it stopped working like that. So now they want to change it back, but I think they forgot how it works, and it's too late to change it back. 10 years ago, if you went to YouTube and you put in, 4th of July fireworks, you would find a lot of videos of people shooting off their own 4th of July fireworks. Now, if you put in 4th of July fireworks, like everything that comes back is an official news story from an official channel about, 4th of July fireworks, from your local news, from national news, from CNN, BBC, Fox News, even local stations. And I don't want that bullshit. I wanted to see, if I go to YouTube and I type in fireworks, I want to see people in the street shooting off fireworks, in front of their own houses. If I wanted to see what CNN had to say about fireworks, I'd go to CNN.com and I type fireworks in there. But YouTube, they used to show me what I wanted to see. Then they started showing me what they wanted me to see. And now it's all fucked. It's all fucked. What do we got? What do we got? We'll get to the Dear Bop in a minute. Chainway is not an amphibian. Vasco scenarios in the house. Says Qapla Vasco. Yvette says, hey. Vasco says, Cronus, hope you're well. Cronus says, what type of injection? Injection, sorry. JP says, hey to Kronos. Kronos says, Bird of Prey, not to get off topic, but overall, what did you think about season 3 of the Orville? Kronos, it was okay. I think it could have been a lot better. One of the videos I'm trying to do is an Orville retrospective, where I'm going to go into how I think Orville would have been a lot better. And the third season, I think, is the weakest season of all, personally. But, compared to what else is out there, it was still pretty good. It could have been so much better. So for season 3, the main feeling, my main word, one word to describe season 3, I'd say, is disappointing, or disappointed. Kronos says, I'm going to wait for all the episodes to come out before seeing She-Hulk. That's up to you, Kronos. I realized I was done with She-Hulk about 15 minutes into the first episode. Kronos says, Janeway is an amphibian. That was only true for a short time. Then she turned back. JP says, you get a series, and you get a series, and you get a series. I don't think they do that anymore. Kronos says, I didn't have a problem with the Barclay episodes in Voyager. No, he was pretty good. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says Dwight Schultz was Lieutenant Barclay, and he was H.M. Murdoch on the A-Team. What? Andrew Jill says Rian Wilson is Dwight. Yes, yeah, but Dwight Schultz, isn't that his name on the Office? Right? No, Dwight. What's his name? What's Dwight's name on the Office? Something Farms, right? Dwight. Is it Schultz? It's something with an S. Could I forget Dwight's last name? I think it is Schultz. Oh my God. I feel like. Does anybody remember Dwight's last name from The Office? Kronos says there's actually more interesting than Threshold. Random Menace I hate Wheaton. Everybody hates Wheaton. Why do you hate Wheaton? Random Menace, you've been defending a lot of new Trek. Kronos says, I have a lot of questions, Bird of Prey. First question is, when is Charlie O'Prey going to dethrone you? That's a great question, Kronos. I guess we won't know till it happens. JP says, throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. Kronos says, I thought that was pasta. Suver No versus Richie. You know what I meant. JP says, shitty pasta. Kronos says, is that from Shitty Walk? At least Woof looks like Woof, says Kronos. He doesn't even look that great, but he better than the Kling orcs. Saul Leibowitz says Alex Turdsman gives us executive producers a bad name. He sure does. Kronos is not a Neo-Klingon. JP says Dorney. Jill says, hey, Kronos, thanks for the delay driving. Hey, Kronos, sorry for the delay driving. Just stay safe. Stay safe, antidote Jill. Kronos says, the humanity. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Manny, O'Brien, who portrayed Miles O'Brien, is probably going to ask big money to appear. That's true. He's a famous star. He doesn't have to appear for pennies. Kronos says, those mighty Klingon eyebrows. Syphilis says Qapla from Australia. Qapla Syphilis. Hope you're well. Kronos says, what about the Krogan orphan miners mining bitcoins? They still better be mining my bitcoins. Kronos says, Bird of Prey, you were ignoring us. I am sorry I was talking, but I'm back to doing the chat now, Kronos. Daniel's Hot Topic says, if any more radiation seeping into the atmosphere from the Chernobyl disaster and what happened in Japan in 2011 when there was a tsunami and it hit a nuclear power plant in Japan, we would evolve. Well, Daniel, we'll either evolve or de-evolve. I suppose it's 50-50. Some of us might evolve while others de-evolve. I guess it's even more complicated. Andrew Jill is parked now. Get well soon, Charlie. Thank you. JP says this whole article is clickbait. True. Captain Fandom Nerd says Kronos, of course, Bird of Prey is not ignoring us. He is just busy and we'll see this in about 45 minutes. Absolutely. See? The waiting is the hardest part, says Kronos. Rock Solid Productions says Bird of Prey, buy the effing game, you criminal. Listen, I don't steal games unless they're on ROMs. Okay, ROMs are not piracy. Chrono says all of the news is evil and says hey to rock solid. Dan Van says I got a news article from the BBC on a YouTube actress who died at the age of 91. I don't normally see the news advertised on YouTube. Well, I do, but goddamn, 91 and she was a YouTube actress. Good for her. Words and Pictures says, hey there, to Kronos. Captain Phantom Nerd says, hey to Basco. Bird Rant Engaged says JP's. Kronos says, amphibians broke the Warp 10 barrier. And I thought that season 3 wasn't horrible. I'd give it 7-ish out of 10. What season 3 of what, Kronos? Random Menace says, is Orville, of Orville? Is Orville a spin-off to Smallville? Is Orville a spin-off to Smallville? I can't imagine that it is, but I never saw Smallville, so I can't be 100% sure. Dan Van says, don't people need to see everything by Marvel if they plan to watch Marvel in the future? Well, I hope not. I hope not, because then I just won't ever watch Marvel in the future. Corona says never saw Smallville or Lewis and Clark. Corona says Schultz. Yeah, Dwight Schultz. So what was the other one? I don't understand. I mean, and the other thing is, I can't think of anything Marvel coming up that I really feel like I need to watch to begin with. So even if I couldn't watch anything Marvel going forward, it really wouldn't be that bad a thing. Schrute, thank you, number one. It's Schrute, Dwight Schrute, not Dwight Schultz. Schrute Farms is Dwight's name from The Office. Dwight Schultz is somebody else. Okay, thank you. I knew it was close, but I couldn't quite grasp it. Dwight Schrute. Jedi Bill says hello to Random Menace. Qapla, Jedi Bill. Glad you're here. Kronos says actually debbed you. Jedi Bill says Qapla, Brother Warrior. Hail, Wordle Pray 5. And hail, Karoga. Hail to you, Jedi. Kronos says Woof is older. Give him a break. Dan Ben says, did you only do Dear Bop on Monday and Friday? Do you get more data box on Friday? Yes, I only do Dear Bop on Monday and Friday. And do you get more data? I guess so, because it's more time between the shows. I've got 24 Dear Bops currently waiting. We'll get to them shortly. Kronos says everyone needs to be typing more. No, they don't. Kronos is Bird of Prey, the Bloody Orville. Thank you. Okay. I missed the 80s, says Kronos. Dan Ben says it was BBC News article sponsored on YouTube. An actress was not a YouTube actress. I realized I've written it wrong. Okay. So it's about a 91-year-old actress. Okay. Kronos says, thank you for typing actress. What's The Office? You know what The Office is, Kronos. Mr. Londell's in the house. Says Marvel sucks these days. Well, I don't know about sucks, but what I've seen recently I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, the best thing about Loki was the alligator. The best thing about WandaVision was that it ended. The best thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier, there wasn't one. There was nothing good. The entire series was just made me angry. You have somebody who should have been arrested and put away for a long time, and instead they make them out to be like some kind of literal hero when they were about the worst person in the world, and they don't understand. They don't even understand why. Shooter 828323 is in the house. Hail, Shooter. Dan Ben says in the UK, it's called The Office, an American workplace, because the original Office was a UK show. That's true. Ms. Lindell says Dwight Schultz is Howling Man Murdoch from the A-Team and Barkley from TNG. Barkley was on the A-Team? I never knew that. Rock Solid again says, buy the effing game, you criminal. You don't even know what game. Kronos is typing is Bird's kryptonite. Dan Ben says DC has animated movie about superhero pets. Kronos is super sassy. Oh, pray. Aroo! Dan Ben, I get confused. What phase of Marvel are we in? I don't even care, Dan. It doesn't matter what phase we're in. It doesn't matter. Just, it is what it is. LDG is awake, but still sick. Hope you get well soon, LDG. Everybody wished you well earlier on. Barkley was the mad one, if you say so, Kronos. If you say so. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do some Dear Bops. Dear Bops. Let's see how it goes. Howling Mad Murdoch, says Kronos. Sending healing vines to LDG, says Words and Pictures. Kronos says, I love it when a plan comes together. That's definitely A-Team material. Okay. Dear Bop, would you rather insult Eminem or have evidence that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton? Thanks, the Trekker, formerly known as Andy. I would insult Eminem over and over again rather than have evidence that could lead to the the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Strange things happen to people who have evidence that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, and I don't want to be one of them. Dear Bob, before you were in the hospital bed, didn't you say you were a programmer who built websites? We think we found your code in AOL on the National Gay Pride website. Is this not your code? C:\enter ###. Close. Okay. I as an engineer, I did do some coding, but I wasn't technically employed as a programmer. That said, I could program, and I often did program because it was just easier for me to code something myself than actually get a programmer to do it. I do not believe any of my code is still live was ever live on AOL, but last I checked, my original JavaScript code was still live on Jaeger Tap Machine's website, which I thought is hysterical. Code from the year 2001 was still working as of 2021, last time I checked. Unedited code, mind you. And it was for something that they got mad at me that I even coded to begin with. But I said, well, whatever. And it turned out to be one of their the best thing I ever put on the website was this particular line of code. Like 10, maybe it's like probably like realistically about 30 lines of code. And they literally, even though I stopped working in 2009, they kept it. And even though they redid the entire website 4 times since then, every time they kept my original code. They dressed it up a little nicer with some CSS, but my original code was always there. It probably still is. So I took some pride in that. So much for having to get a professional coder. I took 20 plus, no, not 20, but yeah, 20 plus years now. 20 plus years, and my code is still working. I can't imagine a whole lot of websites can say that. Dear Bob, weird things opinion on this. Zavi, Nika, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, cartoon, Krang's Android Body Ultimate 7-inch scale action figure. Oh my God, I remember this guy. Now that I'm seeing it. Jesus Christ. $47.99, 48 pounds sterling. So it's probably like 55, 60 US dollars. Yeah, that's about $45 too much. $45 too much. I mean, I'm just not that big of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan that I would ever think of buying that. But if I was, I suppose it would be interesting. I mean, if it was a Star Trek guy or something, I guess I could spend that much. I'd have to really, really like it. Dear Bop, W's, W, a lot of W's, occasional letters, D, B, P, I don't know. It's just nonsense. Dear Bop, how can I politely tell my boss to go F himself? You say, sir, permission to speak freely? I'll say, granted. And you say, sir, go F yourself. And you walk out. Now, at that point, you should probably make sure that you have another job lined up. And you should expect to be fired. But you can do it. It's not hard to do. It's only hard to survive. You can say whatever you want to your boss. The trick is saying whatever you want to your boss and still being able to come in the next day and still be able to get paid. So I can't promise the latter. I can only promise that, yes, you can say it to your boss if you really, really want to. Dear Bob, what exactly is a borough in New York City? Is it like a suburb or what? Okay, so New York City, unlike most cities where there's multiple cities per county, New York City is 5 counties that make up one city. So they're also called boroughs. They're a county and the borough are the exact same thing. So New York City is made up of 5 counties. New York County, which is the island of Manhattan. Bronx County, which we call the Bronx. Queens County, which is also what we just call Queens, Kings County, which is also what we call Brooklyn, and Richmond County, which is what we call Staten Island. I don't know the logic for why Richmond County became Staten Island as opposed to Richmond or Staten Island County. Obviously, King and Queens, you get why those are what they are. Why one of them became Brooklyn and the other became Queens, I don't know. Bronx, obviously, is Bronx. New York is Manhattan. And to an extent, even those of us in the 5 boroughs refer to New York. When we say New York, we mean Manhattan. New York, New York. So that's what they are. As to exactly why they have 2 names, I don't really know. I'm sure that there's a interesting answer for it, but what's actually surprising is that when we were growing up, there was a holiday only celebrated in 2 boroughs, Brooklyn Queens Day, and only schools in Brooklyn and Queens were closed on Brooklyn Queens Day, and the other people in the city still had to go to work. If you lived in Staten Island or the Bronx or Manhattan, you were a school kid, you still had to go to school, teachers had to work. But if you were any of those things in Brooklyn or Queens, you got the day off. It was totally unfair to the rest of the people, but being in Brooklyn, I wasn't going to complain. Dear Bop, I heard a new saying, opinions are like assholes, just relax and take it. Well, that is obviously the choice of somebody who can do that. I say they probably enjoy it. That's not how it would work for me. Words and Pictures says, hey to Jedi Bill, really enjoying your Western streams. Absolutely. Chrono says, can I make city jokes? More like insults. You can, Chronos. I'm not promising I'll read them. Chrono says, I live in the real New York, far away from the city. Shitty. Yes, I know, you do. Interior New York. Robert Rose Jr. says, hello today, Bird of Prey, Mum will pray, and the Sassy. Hope you're doing good. Thank you, Robert. Not too bad. Passed some Karoganite. Can't wait to sell some Karoganite on the open market. Mr. Lundell says, Hillary's ass need to be sporting orange jumpsuits. It's well worth the danger to make certain her ass goes down. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, Mr. Lundell. Dan says UK London has boroughs. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. I thought they had neighborhoods like Mayfair. Dear Bob, what is the 4th wall? Well, the 4th wall is basically, from what I can tell, the disbelief or the belief that when you're watching a movie that you're looking in on somebody else's life and that person, the actor in the movie, is not aware they're an actor in the movie. To them, it's their life. Much like a hologram. Much like a hologram in a holodeck in Star Trek The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine, they didn't know they were holograms. Except Vic Fontaine, he broke the 4th wall because he knew he was a hologram. And he would talk to you knowing that you knew he was a hologram. To a lesser extent, Professor Moriarty in TNG, he became sentient. He also kind of broke the fourth wall. But I think Vic Fontaine is a better parallel to somebody like She-Hulk or Deadpool, where they'll look at you, the audience, and they'll talk to you like you're in on it. They know, they know that they're not, that they're being followed, that that there's an audience watching. I hope I explained that well. Kronos isn't cleaning up the fourth wall. I agree. Dan Benz, his Family Guy ended up becoming one of those they're actually actors on a TV show. Miss Lindell says fourth wall is when the actor turns to the camera and begins talking with the audience. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. And Kronos says Deadpool is great fourth wall breaker. Dear Bob, are there any films you think portray New York incorrectly, or any film set in New York you just don't like? Escape from New York, they almost but not quite get New York. They need to be a little bit, they're just a little tough. They're a little tough in some areas and not quite as tough as they need to be in other areas. No, in all honesty, I mean, like in comedies, like in Home Alone 2, they were probably too nice with New York. Like, honestly, the kid would probably be dead. The kid would be dead. There's no, the homeless woman in the park that saved him at the end of the movie. The reality is she probably would have eaten him. Okay? There's no crazy nice, if you're a homeless woman in the park on a cold night in New York, 99.9% of the chance it's because you are literally psychotic, you're not taking your medication, and you're not going to be nice to a small child who is looking for help. You probably would be if you were on your medication. I'm not saying you're necessarily a bad person, but people who are on their medication generally are not out in the park in the middle of the night, homeless or not. I mean, there are many homeless centers. Hell, New York gives a lot of homeless people, especially women. If it was a man, maybe not, but especially women, they can get hotel rooms instead of staying in shelters and shit. So, things like that, they just portray New York a little too nicely. Although, granted, when the movie came out, was probably about one of the times New York was on its nicest behavior. These days, the city has gotten a lot worse than it was during the time Mayor Giuliani was in charge. Whatever you think about him today, 20 years ago, he really turned the city around for the best. On the other hand, what was correct about the movie is that, not anymore, but before he became president, you very much might have seen Donald Trump just walking through the hotel. And if you had asked him for directions, he might have given them to you. Or any other celebrity, they try to just be normal people. LDG puts in a link to his Twitter. He is sick, but maybe he's feeling a little better. Let's see. LDG was putting in a link, guys. Please follow that link and vote on that poll that LDG put up. The question is to settle a bet, an issue between me and LDG. It's not a bet. There's no, it's just for bragging, I guess, at this point. LDG, apparently the way LDG eats food is he fills up his mouth with food. He then drinks water. He chews the food, but then he can't get the food. He can't swallow the food. So then he drinks water to help him swallow the food. And he thinks that that's the normal way to eat food. I told him he was crazy, that I chew my food, swallow my food, and then I drink water or whatever other substance I want to drink. And then I go back to eating, I swallow, and then drink again. He says no, he eats before he swallows, he drinks the water, and only then does he swallow the water with the food. And that's why it's so important to him that the only thing he drink when eating is water, because any other drink would change the taste of the food, which I understand it would change the taste of the food the way he does it. But I also think that he does it crazy and no one else really does it that way. So please vote honestly. Maybe I'm wrong. Vote honestly in that poll. Kronos likes the Dove soap. Very feathery. Words and pictures says poor little birdie. Robert Rose Jr. says, how you would explain Arnold's movie, The Last Action Hero, where a kid was transported into the movie? That's like the reverse of the fourth wall. That's like, I don't know, the negative fourth wall. I liked that movie. I liked it when, what was it? He showed a picture of, what was it? Terminator. And it was Sylvester Stallone instead of Schwarzenegger. That was a good one. Chrono says, so peeps on meds are evil. No, I'm saying that they're not evil, Chrono. I'm saying they're not evil, especially when they're on their medication. But if they're in that situation, chances are they're nutso. Okay? There'd be no good to anybody, especially a little kid. They did make, I believe they're up to 4 Home Alones now, Dan Ben. In fact, they made a Home Alone that went right to Disney Plus. They made a 4th Home Alone. There were 3 Home Alones, 2 of them with Kevin McAllister, a 3rd one that didn't have Kevin, and then they did a 4th one which had a girl, and it was on Disney Plus. Chronos says, every effing time. Chronos has an eating problem. I rub it on my face. I don't know what that is. Words and pictures says porcupine soup. I don't know what that is. Chronos says, no, that's not a bird. Tyrion Lannister was the Last Action Hero. Was that the wrong movie? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, back to Dear Bops. Dear Bop, are there any other foods that have the word New York in the title, like New York cheesecake, New York bagel, New York pizza? There's definitely New York style pizza compared to Chicago style or something like that. New York, well, there's Manhattan clam chowder as opposed to New England clam chowder. I prefer the New England clam chowder, the white clam chowder, because I'm racist, apparently. New York, New York style pizza, Manhattan clam chowder. I mean, honestly, I hear Brooklyn bagels more than New York bagels, but I guess New York bagels are a thing. I can't think of anything else offhand. Oh, New York style Frankfurt hot dogs. New York style hot dogs are really Nathan's hot dogs. They call them New York style hot dogs. That's something else. Maybe hot pretzels, like a New York style hot pretzel. That's all I can think of offhand. Dear Bob, is it incorrect to say solar system when referring to another planetary system? No, I mean, there are other solar systems out there beside our own. So as long as you've made it clear that you're talking about a different solar system, you can call it the solar system, just so people are clear that you're talking about a different solar system. Just like you could use the word sun to describe a star in a different solar system. It's so-and-so's planet's sun, the sun meaning the closest star to that planet, or the star the planet revolves around, orbits around. Doesn't mean it's our sun. Doesn't mean it's our solar system. A New York style rub out, that's not a food. Dear Bops, what up? The sky is up. Dear Bop, what's down? The floor is down. So is the ground. Tim Christ says, Bird of Prey, Manhattan clam chowder. Chowder? Chowder. No, I don't like Manhattan clam chowder. I don't like the red clam chowder and white clam chowder. Dear Bob, how do I get the energy to do things? All I do is get up, get dressed, sit at a table, and just think how I didn't do anything all day. I didn't get up to do any of the things I thought about. Yeah. Well, I tell you, if you can walk, you got more reason and ability than I do to be able to do things. I have had the same days where I get up, wake up, get washed, put shirt on, and then don't really do anything else all day. But of course, for me, by the time I've done just what I've said, it's already 2 p.m. So the best hours of my day are already over at that point. You just gotta push through it, man. You gotta, once it's hard, but I promise you, once you do it the first time, the next day will be easier, and the day after that will be even easier. And by the end of the week, if you're doing it, you're going to find that you enjoy doing these things. You enjoy getting things done. The day doesn't go as fast. You'll feel more satisfied at the end of the day. You'll stop feeling like your life is wasting away. And it's paradoxical, but it works. Yes, Mama Pray. Mama Pray would like to interject, of course. Mama Pray, please.
I read something interesting on Facebook. Most things on Facebook are not interesting, but this was. It said, and I guess it was aimed more at someone that's home, but it says, if you can't get yourself to wash all the dishes, wash one plate. If you can't dust the furniture, dust one table. If you can't clean out everything you want to throw away, throw out one thing. Like, start small. It doesn't get you that far, but it gets you a little bit. I have been using that, we have a dishwasher, so forget the dishes. But when I figure I need to clean out an entire room, and decide whether I'm donating things or tossing them, it overwhelms me. So I will take 2 bags with me. And I'll put some stuff that should be in the trash and in one bag, and some stuff that should be donated into another bag. And I'm not talking about daily garbage. I'm talking about things that aren't dirty. I don't fill up the bags. I just do a few things. Then I put them away. And it might take me a week to get back to them. But eventually, by the time the donation truck comes, I have 6, 7, or 8 bags, big, large bags or boxes to go out. Unfortunately, in that amount of time, we have probably accumulated more than that of things that we thought we were going to need but didn't. But you have to just try to do something, anything. If it's paperwork, whatever you plan on, painting a room, I don't know, paint a door. It just, don't make it overwhelming, because we do get overwhelmed in our minds and wind up just sitting doing nothing. And yeah, I had one of those days yesterday. I really did. So I understand.
Mamo Bray understands. Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes it just gets overwhelmed. Okay, now that I didn't add anything to yours.
Oh, everybody always loves hearing your Mamo Bray.
Hi, everyone.
Tim Chris says Manhattan clam chowder. Kronos says sounds like Office Space. The tomato isn't bad, says Kronos. I would beg to differ. Kronos says I enjoy annoying and trying to get banned from Bertle Prey 5's channel. You're not trying to get banned. And he says, hi, Mamo Prey.
Hi, Kronos. He'd never ban you.
LDG says no one is sane. I hope you're feeling better, LDG.
No one's sane.
No one is sane. Guess we're all crazy. Kronos is washing dishes is the devil. JPs would love to bitch and whine about my life, but there are always those who have it worse. Well, that's true for basically everybody, JPs. So go ahead and bitch and whine about your life. You got to let it out. Words and pictures is good advice from Mamo Prey. Corona says if you crap in someone's bed, you have hit rock bottom. Or they've hit rock bottom. You are still in somebody's bed. Dan Van says you don't have to clean the dishes to a certain extent before putting them in the dishwasher. Don't you have to clean the dishes to a certain extent? You've got to get the hard, pieces, big pieces off. But otherwise, you really don't need to clean them that well. Yes, Mamo Prey.
They came across one of my OCD things.
Mamo Prey has.
I wash.
She pre-washes. She pre-washes every dish before
every fork, every spoon.
Every fork.
And
even the dishwasher specifically says you don't have to pre-wash.
Right. But I do it because then I put it into sanitizing and put it on high heat and all that stuff. Just so there are less germs going around.
JP says get paper plates. Oh, we do.
Them too.
We do. Dan Ben says there's an episode of American Dad where some guy craps over every inch of Steve's room. Robert Rose Jr. says paper plates have gotten crazy expensive nowadays. Chrono says hey to Mamo Pray. OCD sounds like a rap band, says Chronos. Okay, Dear Bop, do you have like a top 10 video of worst Star Trek episodes in general or by series I could watch? I do not, but I am thinking of doing something to that effect. So be on the lookout for video at some point. It's on my short list of videos. I found that making a worst of was a lot harder than I could think. So that's why I didn't do one already. Dear Bob, is there anything you recently fell out of love with? Yeah. I used to love Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. Now I just I don't like it anymore. Even if I get it, I can't eat it like I used to. It used to taste so good. Now it's like work if I wanted to eat it. I don't a lot of foods I've changed. I used to love, I don't love them anymore. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Dear Bob, in my country, we don't seem to do taxes and tax returns like Americans do. I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure no country does taxes like Americans do. God knows why we even accept doing them like we do, but for some reason we do. JP says, WTF, you don't like Wendy's spicy chicken anymore. I still like the nuggets to a point, but the spicy chicken sandwich with the lettuce, the tomato on it, oh man, I used to love those, and now I don't. I don't hate them necessarily. I don't know if the chicken changed or just my feelings on it changed, but it's not the same. I used to love, oh my God, maybe I would want them again now I think about it. I was going to say, I used to love homemade chicken cutlets, but then I didn't like them for quite a while. Now maybe I would. I don't know. Dear Bob, I noticed watching your videos, there's a lot of songs you just don't know. Is it because you didn't listen to radio in your life or just not knowledgeable? No, it's mostly because I have no use for that music. I fully admit I didn't, like I said, I didn't start listening to music in any recreational way literally until college. And then it was still very limited. And to this day, it remains very limited. Most of the music I listen to would have been oldies when I was growing up.
I was going to say, I used to have the radio on all the time.
Right. Well, Mamo Pray used to listen to music, sure. So, I mean, most of the music I know that isn't Frank Sinatra is stuff Mamo Pray, Dado Pray used to listen to. No. And I never considered music to be particularly important. So it's not like I devoted all that much time to it. It wasn't until the era of Napster when I could literally download thousands of songs in a single weekend when I would visit my sister up at college, because she had, the SUNY system was awash in taxpayer dollars. And so the taxpayer dollars were used to give the students kick-ass internet far faster than what a private institution like Hofstra University was giving its students. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hofstra had fast internet compared to home internet, but compared to SUNY Buffalo, Hofstra looked like it was standing still. At Hofstra, I'd be lucky if I could get 200 songs a day, whereas at SUNY Buffalo, I could literally get 200 songs a minute. And I did. I mean, be times I was only limited by hard drive space, and try to figure out. Then I would figure out what music I liked, and oh my God, I deleted so much music that I didn't like, and I said, oh, I'm never going to listen to that again. And only from building up an MP3 library did I really learn anything about who the artists were who sang the songs. And as it turned out, as you would expect, being that most of these songs were labeled by people, that they were wrong. Years later, I would find out a song I thought was sung by somebody was actually sung by somebody else. And just the person who uploaded it originally didn't know what he or she was doing. No. Yeah. I don't pretend to be good at music. Random Menace's Napster was illegal. Actually, Napster's not illegal, Random Menace. Just using it to download illegal music could arguably be illegal. There was plenty of legal music on Napster that didn't have any copyright claims, like my cousin or something. He would use, wasn't Napster, but his band to get his music out there. He would just, there are a lot of artists who just want their music out there. They're not looking to make money. Kronos never stole Metallica songs. Sure. Dear Bop, Trek movie interview gives TNG characters a proper finale. Yes, I read this. Already. I think I touched some of this earlier when we were looking through the news. During the Comic-Con panel, executive producer Alex Kurtzman drew a parallel to another classic Star Trek film describing season 3's villain. Matalis added some nuance to the comparison to Wrath of Khan during the podcast. I think Alex was referring to the spirit of a somewhat larger-than-life antagonist who you just want to watch. I would say the other aspect is there are space battles, and I think the spirit of Wrath of Khan is what Alex was talking about, trying to outsmart your opponent, which definitely plays a part. But no, we're not promising Wrath of Khan. It's very different in that way. Actually ties into some storylines and mythology from previous Star Trek incarnations, where the movie parallels comparisons to season 3 of Picard as a sort of final TNG movie. Matalis acknowledges that the focus was to make the season work for television. To illustrate this point, he brought up a recent comment from The Boys showrunner, Eric Kripke. Kripke said, "Stop describing your season as a season-long movie," and he's absolutely right. You can't just take a 2-hour script and spread it out. He's talking about momentum. You have to design it for television, have to have 10 chapters. So movie is not quite really the right word when we say season 3 is the last next gen movie. It is the spirit of that, but really it's a 10-hour miniseries that has the highest cinematic value of a feature film. I would say the last 2 hours are a movie. Laughs, they're quite big. That's Picard. Yeah, it's out there if you're interested in reading it. Kronos is Bird of Prey. You are great at crashing everything. And Dan Benson, Bird of Prey. Some of the actors also talk about the movie after Picard. That's interesting. Dear Bob, what are your thoughts? Movie rumors. Star Trek, Patrick Stewart responds to Picard movie rumors. I think it'd be a very interesting, exciting, worthwhile thing to achieve. I don't think there's going to be a movie after Picard. I think they're pretty clear that Picard season 3 is the end, the end of the TNG story. But whatever. Listen, who knows? If there's money in it, they'll do it. I highly doubt they're going to do a movie, though, because a movie would be pretty clear if it made or didn't make money. Dear Bob, if you were trapped in a room with 100 dicks on the wall, how many would you choke on? 0. First off, I wouldn't be in that room to begin with. Bear Bob, would you not choke on them because you're such an expert? No, I wouldn't choke on them because I wouldn't be near them. And I wouldn't put them in my mouth for another. Dear Bob, I'm concerned about going swimming in the ocean. I've heard there was another shark attack off the coast of Florida, and a guy had his whole left side ripped off. I didn't believe it till I saw photos. Turns out he's all right now. Tetrapodium has subscribed. Qapla, Tetrapodium. I hope you are enjoying the stream, if you are indeed at the stream. Now, if your whole left side gets bit off, then you're all right by definition. Har, 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 har. Dear Bob, I don't care about the new Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, or Lord of the Rings program. Neither do I. Neither do I. That said, I do hope other people out there do care about it. So number one can get a good audience for his show about House of the Dragon. I don't know anyone doing Lord of the Rings, so whatever. Miss Lindell says Picard movie rumors. This is all BS. Klutzman just wants to keep fools dangling on a string. Don't fall for the Okies doke again. Dear Bob, Dwight Schultz was the name of the actor who played Reginald Barkley, along with H.M. Hallingman Murdoch in the A-Team. Thank you. Did we really get through all that? Yeah. Okay, so I guess these are more recent Dear Bops. Dear Bob, Mark Barkley as Murdoch in the A-Team. Okay. Now I see it. Now I see it. I didn't before. Dear Bob, you should never buy Velcro. It's a total ripoff. It also was invented by Vulcans in Carbon Creek episode season 2 of Enterprise. Dear Bob, you don't know how to read your own code from the Gay Pride website? Pronounce C: enter: pound. God damn it. No, that wasn't my code. And no, it's not up. Might be on the Gay Pride website, but wasn't my code if it is. Dear Bop, bitch. Well, son of a bitch. That's a pretty crappy Dear Bop to end on. Should have ended on the code on the gay website. Anyway, guys. What else? What else? Oh, Wordle. Let's do Wordle. Before we go, let's do Wordle. Okay. Andrew Jill says, anytime I respond while driving, I was a red light or parked, Chronos. Andrew Jill says, I had to step away for a long while, but I finally made it back. Thank you. Welcome back, Andrew Jill. We just finished the Dear Bops. Okay, Wordle. What word should I use to start? I don't know. All types of words are running through my head. Sleeve. Nope, there's too many letters. Solve. Let's try that. S in the right place. Well, I knew it was an S word. Unfortunately, none of the other letters are correct. So let's do S-O-E. We know there's no E or A. That's no E or O. So let's see. S-A-I. Said. Seds. Is that a word? Well, it is a word, and there's no A or I. Shit. Sunny. S-U-N-N-Y. Okay, we have a U, and there's no Y. And it's not shock. Shuck. Shuck. Is shuck a word? It is a word. And we have SH, and we have a U, but it's not the third letter. SH. 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 Schmuck. No. Schmuck. No, there can't be schmuck. Schmoo. Schmup. Schmut. Schmut. No. Is it smur? Schmoo. Schmut. Schmut. I don't think schmut's a word. No, it's not. Schmur. Smug. Smurg. Schmug. No. Schmuff. I don't think. I don't think. Schmub. Schmum. No. Schmudge. Schmucks. Schmuck. Schmur. Schmur. Schmurt. Schmuck. Schmuff. Smug. I did that. Schmuck. Okay, well, it's not SHM. Shoot, says Syphilis. SH. No, it can't be. The U isn't. It's got to be another consonant. The U can't be the third character. Shrug, says number one. Shrug. SHRUG. That could be it. That's probably it. That is it. Thank you, number one. There we go. There we go. Shrug. I feel like I would have got that. I don't know if I would have got it in the two I had left, but I would have got it eventually. Cinnabon Bunny says shrub. Could have been shrub, but it's shrug. Thank you, Cinnabon Bunny. Yes, definitely a good answer. Bird is ignoring. I'm not ignoring. Andrew Jill says Shmee he. Kronos says Smurf. Cinnabon again yells shrub. I can't go back and put in shrub. It already gave me the correct answer. John DeMarcos is just in time to see Bird making up words. Hey, sometimes we need to invent new words, John. Did you just show up, John? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Shrub would have been funnier. I agree. Shrub would have been funnier, but they did shrug. So it is what it is. So, quick check, is there any new news? White House officials privately expressed concern about classified information taken to Mar-a-Lago. Who cares? Who cares? Whatever. Appeals court's backs ruling to release DOJ memo on Trump prosecution. Graham ordered to appear before Atlanta grand jury. Investigated Trump. Zelensky warns world is on verge of nuclear disaster. More explosions reported at Russian military sites. This is not possible. Not with jumping Joe Biden in charge. He would never let things get that bad. MBTA riders suffered months of safety problems. Damn. Space storms, stunning auroras photographed around the world. So I saw them talking about House of the Dragon, HBO, and they put out a tweet about it or something, and they promised that there would be no gratuitous sex or violence. They promised no gratuitous sex or violence. I'm like, well, wait, do they want me to watch this show or not? Because what the hell? When did no gratuitous sex or violence become a selling point for a show? Gratuitous sex and violence is the whole point of making fucking shows, especially HBO. You stupid fucks. You built your network on gratuitous sex and violence. It is why 3/4 of your people are subscribed to you. Okay? What turned you in to a powerhouse of a channel were shows that featured gratuitous sex and violence, like Sopranos and The Wire and Deadwood and Game of Thrones. For the first 5 seasons was the number one of all of them. There was a very funny bit on Saturday Night Live who only gets 1 or 2 funny sketches all season. And it was about a young girl who thought she was telling her family about what she had to do. And they were like, oh no, you became a porn actress. She's like, no, it's not porn, it's HBO. And they were like, oh, HBO, now it makes sense. And they were all happy for her because she became a star of an HBO show and not a porn actress. That was funny because it was real. So the fact that they're advertising Game of Thrones, yeah, of course they're woke.
Old.
Old. Oh, HBO's old?
They said old age.
Oh, old age changed HBO?
Yes.
I don't know, but I think it's probably young people in charge. And they're you know, they're all feel. Yeah, it is much sadder. It's much sadder. Domesticating Game of Thrones. Nobody wants domesticated Game of Thrones. God damn it, that's why we like Game of Thrones. I didn't fucking tune in to not see gratuitous violence, to not see hot women being naked. God damn it, I tuned in to see those things. Storm boosted auroras dazzle sky watchers around the world. First off, I'm not even so sure the world is. Okay, I'm kidding. Repeat performance. Well, even if it was, we didn't see them. We didn't see them here in New York last night. If you captured a stunning photo of the Northern Lights, let us know. Yeah. Send them your pictures for free so they can use it to sell advertising space on their own fucking website. And yet nobody's got good pictures. God damn it. I closed the YouTube window. Which is fine. It's still streaming. Ludicrous, ridiculous, and complete fiction. Okay, whatever. Death of a salesman in New York after Governor Kathy Hochul signs salespeople law. What are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Death of a salesman in New York after Governor Kathy Hochul signs salespeople law. Willie Loman is no more, at least in a New York state of law. Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation Thursday replacing the word salesmen with salespeople, motherfucker, salesperson, the latest in a series of moves by Albany towards gender neutral and other woke language. Jobs have no gender, but unfortunately many of our state's laws still use gendered language when discussing professions that are practiced by people of all genders. You stupid schmuck! All law uses gendered language because it's just fucking easier. It applies to men and women the same. It's not that hard of a concept to understand. Okay? If it says he, he might be guilty of this, or he might be guilty of that, guess what? So the fuck it means women too. You don't need to rewrite the fucking law. The law is perfectly good the way it is. Fuck. Jobs have no gender, but unfortunately many of our state laws still use gendered language when discussing professions that are practiced by people of all genders. Goddamn, you know what? I hope you waste your time rewriting all the fucking laws that all use gendered language and never actually doing anything fucking useful. God help you if you had to put your brain to doing something. You know what? Here, I'm offended. Look at the eagle atop the fucking New York crest. It looks a lot like the fucking German Nazi eagle. So why don't you go fucking fix that? Spend 6 months trying to figure out how you're going to fix the fucking eagle, because it looks too much like a fucking World War II German symbol. I'm offended. Fix it. In addition to replacing the word salesman, which a summary of the measure deems antiquated, the law replaces instances of his or her with their in relevant statutes affecting the real estate industry. God damn it, there is not proper English, motherfucker. We want our workers to reflect, workplaces to reflect the diversity of New York. What the fuck do you mean? The diversity of New York? You're talking man and woman. There's no fucking state in the union that's all men or all women. Every fucking state has the exact same percentage of men and women to like the 5th decimal point. It's no fucking different in New York than it is in Florida or Texas or bumblefuck Wyoming. You don't get woke points for having the same number of women as part of the population as the entire fucking world. Minus China, because fucking they're China. Thursday bill signing is the latest example of New York State government's nomenclature kick. You know what? God damn it. China is the one country in the world that has majority men, because women are like born 51 to 49% of the time. It's not 50-50. China was the one place that said, oh, woman dead. Try again for a boy. And now they're like majority man. And they're not wasting their time changing their laws to be gender neutral. So, as much as I hate China, I gotta say I'm not surprised. Another bill sponsored by State Senator Samir Borak of Rochester and Carrie Wagner of Saratoga, both Democrats, approved by Hochul Wednesday, removes gendered references to office holders in local legislative bodies like councilman in favor of words like council member. What is about it when council members of the male persuasion have their own member? Is that a problem? Maybe they've got to be cut before they become council members. They've got to agree to get it cut off. New laws scrap the use of terms mentally retarded and inmate in favor of developmentally disabled and incarcerated person. Why the fuck is inmate? Why is inmate a gender problem? What is wrong with the word inmate? I don't even get that. Mentally retarded, again, completely correct use of the word, but I understand at least why people don't like the word because of feelings. I don't understand why inmate is even a fucking problem. There's no place for the R word in our vocabulary. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. The R word, there's scientific reasons when you retard something. It has to be said. There's no other word that means what it means in the scientific use. Retard. You retard a reaction. There are reasons when you can say the R word. There is a place for the R word. Maybe not in describing a person, but again, that's only because of fucking feelings. There is no good reason. Every fucking word that we change is feeling. Even the N word. What's the fucking point when I can say the N word Everybody knows what word I'm talking about when I say it. Is there more hate in my heart if I say one word versus the other? I'm telling you, I don't have hate in my heart. Okay? I don't. So if I'm saying that word, it's only because someone else said it and I'm repeating it, or I need to put it in a historical perspective or something. I'm not saying it out of hate. What the fuck does it matter if I say the word you know I mean, but I call it something else, or I say the fucking word to begin with? It doesn't fucking matter. You know it, I know it, they know it, but no one wants to be honest about it. Not everybody has been on board with the changes. Well, why the fuck do you think that is? Because not everybody has an IQ lower than a fucking goldfish. Welcome to Democrat-controlled New York, where the incarcerated individuals are running the asylum. Michael Fraser, spokesman for the Republican Assembly Minority Leader William Barkley, quipped earlier this month. You know what? And he's damn right. Thursday law, which overwhelmingly passed the Assembly and State Senate, was less controversial. I'm fine with this, tweeted upstate radio host Doug Grood, before adding, inmate being changed to incarcerated individual is still ludicrous. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Kronos is lolling. Dan Ben yells F word. Kronos says it just turned into 8.3. Rant o' pray. Android of Jill says, why are we policing language anyway? It's very Orwellian. Indeed it is. Kronos said earlier, Rant o' pray is getting above a 6 now. No, I went from a 6 to an 8.3 there. Effing elitist, says Kronos. There is grammatically incorrect. Absolutely, it's grammatically incorrect. It's bullshit. Carlos says, I came into a bird rant. Cool. Yes, Mom will pray. Yes, Mom will pray. You have a question. Those were New York laws, yes.
What does it matter? Inmate or incarcerated person? Because we don't have any of them anymore. They don't arrest anybody.
Mama Frey says, what does it matter? They don't arrest anybody anymore. So, who cares? Carlo Albanese says, hi, I hope everyone is as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. Chrono says, I have a wingman. Hail, Karoger, says Carlo. Dan Ben says, there's a place in England called Pratt's Bottom. Carlo's waving. Chrono says, this is getting spicy and salty. Mr. Devron 28 has subscribed. Qapla, Mr. Devron 28, if you are listening, welcome to the channel. Hakeem says, I still calling my mailman a mailman, lol. Yeah, we do that too. And it's a woman most of the time. Chrono says, I call females that act actresses. Carlos says, behind every strong man is a strong woman that got him there, and behind every strong woman is a pile of laundry that needs doing. No, Carlo. No. A pile of laundry that needs doing.
Yeah.
No, Carlo. Chrono says, Bird, know what Elvira looks like. Sister Act film, says Dan Ben. Chrono says, sorry, bad joke. Please don't hate me. I don't know. Chrono says, oh Lord, no Sister Act. Gorilla's Random Thought says, is someone clipping this? Lol. Chronos doesn't know how to clip. Captain MKG says, Bird will pray 5. Tell us how you really feel. Chronos says, you can't clip me. I can feel the hate flow through Bird. Good. And he said the R word. Thanks, Chronos. Carlos says, have many meanings. Words have many meanings, especially when feelings are involved. Kronos' Ranto praise now at 8.8. John DeMarco says his hate makes him powerful. Dan Ben says, what is the R word? Retard is the R word, Dan Ben. I don't like saying it. I don't like calling people it, but it is a word and it has a meaning, and you can't just erase the word from existence. Kronos says, I hate fully functioning brain peeps that are just stupid, aka retards. Carla Albanese says, words are just words. It's the intent behind the words that make them powerful. Kronos says, oh, banning time. No banning. Kronos, Bird of Prey, you escalated rather quickly. Welcome back, Mamo Prey, says Kronos. Your planet, welcome. Thank you, Carlo. The Devron sector. Yeah, it sounded like it. The Devron sector. That's where all good things takes place. You've got to go to Devron sector system. Kronos is Bird of Prey. What's your definition of a woman? Oh, that's a hard one, Kronos. Let me see. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a biologist. Let me see if I can figure out what a woman is. Dan Ben says understood. Carlos says Kronos. That feels like one. Captain Fandom Nerd says retard is also a musical term. I did not know that, but I understand. And yes, slow down. Right, Kronos, slow down. So Jesus fucking Christ. Death of a salesman. God damn it. Prosecutors can't enforce an abortion ban. 3 dead after 2 planes crash above California. Montpelier man indicted in Whitey burglar prison murder. Ron Klain says Biden not creating an S-storm every day like Trump. I guess you could argue what an S-storm is. U.S. to announce 800 million weapons package to Ukraine. Russia will once again shut up Europe's gas via Nord Stream 1 pipeline. They're going to shut it down for 3 days just to show that they can. Why a Chinese ship arrival in Sri Lanka has caused alarm in India. Super PACs flooding races, money. Someone in New York City last year bought a lotto ticket worth millions and hasn't claimed it. No. Probably mine. Can I just, if I don't have the ticket, can I still claim it? Good Friday morning, New York City, where a couple of $1 million winning lotto tickets sold at local delis are about to expire after a year of going unclaimed. Here's what else is happening. The head of New York City Hotel Association said yesterday, local hotels are available and willing to put up thousands of migrants who are being bused to the city from Texas. Yeah, if you pay them the going rate, they'll put them up. How about they put them up for fucking free? Oh, no, of course not. Guess what? Nobody is. Nobody's going to take them for free. I wouldn't trust you if you said you would. Okay? Because the only reason you would take them for free would be to make them work in the mines or something of that nature. Nobody takes people in for free. Empty 1930s schoolhouse in Bennegat Township, New Jersey, where many people believe is haunted, is set to be demolished. Great. Demolish the haunted house, set the fucking ghosts free for everybody. Dr. Oz, who owns lots of houses, has been living at his in-laws' place for some reason. Maybe it's just where he wants to fucking be. A Pennsylvania woman who's been under house arrest for 1.5 years for stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop during the Capitol riot. When was there a riot? Was recently allowed by a judge to leave her home for 8 hours to attend a Renaissance fair. Why the fuck is that news? Finland's prime minister was caught on camera dancing at a party, and she will not apologize. She also denies taking drugs at the party. God damn it. Authorities in New Zealand apprehended and re-released a seal that wandered into someone's house, traumatized the cat, and hung out on the couch for a while. Did the seal rape the cat? God damn it. That's what they mean. That's what they mean by traumatized. Poor cat. Animals are angry like that. The Mediterranean monk seal relaxing in the early morning of Samos Island in Greece. Yep, that's a seal already. Okay. Well, Arabic Saunders says Qapla, Qapla, Arabic. Good to see you. The Karogan mines. Well, I'm just saying we take in orphans for free because we put them to work in the mines. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. Okay. Obviously, certain laws on the books don't allow New York City hotels to put people they might take to work. So I just saying, what's in it for them? Obviously, just money. Just money. Andrew Jill says that was no riot. It was a controlled tour. Indeed. Indeed. I mean, it wasn't the best controlled tour, but it certainly, riot is overkill. Kronos' bird triggers me all the time. I need my safe space. And Carlo Albanese says, I thought I saw a video where they were invited in, but then a cop got scared and it all went downhill. Here's the thing. Some entrances, people were absolutely invited in. Some entrances, they were not. Okay, so once you were inside, there is no way to really know. I guess they can go back to video camera. But just because you were inside doesn't mean you broke in. That's what you need to remember. Just because you were inside doesn't mean you broke in. Yes, I'm sure some people stole things once they got in. Some people broke windows. Some people did bad things. But overall, not everyone did the bad things. The vast majority of them you can see from the fucking video cameras going on that these so-called rioters were staying between the velvet ropes. Okay? They were standing between the velvet ropes, walking orderly down the fucking halls between the ropes, not going outside the fucking designated areas for tourists or whatever the fuck they call them, visitors. Yes, I'm sure some people did go outside and, fine, then go after those people. But just the fact you were in the fucking building does not make you guilty of any fucking thing. Period. Not that I'm ever going to be on the jury, so, it's going to be between you and the jury. Don't take my word for it, but that's my opinion. Anyway, guys, with that, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for coming. Again, a happy birthday to Gene Roddenberry, the great bird of the galaxy, the man who brought us Star Trek. Could he have been a better man? Possibly, but he was a good man for Star Trek fans. Qapla all. Oh, yes. Thank you again to Andrew Jill for sending people over here. Thank you. She did a long stream this morning. Check it out, Andrew Jill's channel, for the original Gene Roddenberry stream. A lot of people talking about a lot of Gene Roddenberry stuff. They went through every TOS episode that Gene Roddenberry wrote and or had some official capacity with. That was well, as a writer, a writing credit of some sort. So that was cool. And what else? What else is going on? Friday. I'm not sure about tomorrow. I might try to do a poker game tomorrow if all works out. Not sure the time yet. Sunday will be more Twilight Zone. Sunday, Twilight Zone. Monday will be back to bed life. And then Thursday, this next week, Star Trek Lower Decks is back, season 3, episode 1. I will put out a review as soon as I can. I have a dentist appointment on next Thursday, but Jesus, I had a dream. I had a dream that a tooth fell out in the middle of the night. I was scared. I pulled the tooth out, and it was, oh my God, it was disgusting. It was covered with fucking barnacles and shit, like tiny barnacles. Like it was like these things shouldn't even exist. Like how could that have been in my mouth? But whatever. Yeah, it scared me. Now that I think about it, that was, yeah. Okay. Well, with barnacles in my mouth, Qapla all, bird and panel out. No, there's no panel. What am I talking about? Bird out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdopray5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop affiliate links, and all your Birdo Pray 5 needs. At the main Birdo Pray 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Pray 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Pray 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.